Second is going to be on Bonnie Research Station.
That it is. And notice that I want to point out Zest has that KeSPA Cup victory pin on his jersey, man. He is the champion of the KeSPA Cup. This is a tournament we're going to be seeing a lot more of, more regularly. All right, map is Bonnie Research Station. It's up. It's loaded.
Let's see what FanTaSy can do on this map here with his big, big drops. Let's go into game 2 right now. Zest versus FanTaSy.
KT roster Zest, 주성우 vs. Dead Pixels FanTaSy, 정명훈.
They're in the top in the yellow. Our Protoss player, he is Zest.
Emphasis on the pro. He's pretty good. Down at bottom at 6 o'clock in red. Dead Pixels FanTaSy. That's not a dead pixel on your screen. It's just FanTaSy. If you have a dead pixel on your screen, you should probably take it back to Best Buy. Call them before the 30-day.
There is one nerd out
period.
there that has like a couple dead pixels. He's like, yeah,
I mean,
bond with FanTaSy.
Listen, just call Best Buy, okay? Don't wait. Don't be like, it's probably fine. Listen, just take the time. Listen, you're not going to have your TV for a few days. You got to send it back and get a new one.
It's worth it.
But it's worth it, man.
Dead pixels are so annoying.
You don't
and
want
I don't
that.
mean the esports team.
No, yeah, Dead Pixels is a great esports team, but seriously, just take it back to Best Buy. You just bought a big TV. Well, how much do you spend? You spend $700. Listen, I'm talking to you out there, guy who's got a Dead Pixel. Just take it back. Just take it back to Best Buy and get it returned.
He's watching in his underwear at like 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast of America. He's like, oh, but I can't yet.
You just
don't do it yet. Wait until KeSPA Cup is over.
No, don't go down there in your boxers either. They might refuse you service. So going into this game 2, Vania map, their drops are pretty annoying at the backdoor expansion.
In series where players get 2 bans, especially with the older map pool, we oftentimes see for the Protoss they ban out. No, not really Bonnie Research Station. I'm actually thinking about Terrans banning out Bonnie Research Station and Deadwing because they don't really like to play this long map style, this giving the Protoss a ton of room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of getting my map bans mixed up there, Wolf.
Yeah, well,
stay with me.
We definitely see Expedition Lost every now and then, excuse me, banned as well. But it really just depends on the player's style. And I think what we're going to see here from FanTaSy is just a Reaper opening into Widowmine drops. Widowmine drops pretty good on this map. You get in the back, you can drop some Widowmines and can do some damage.
It's pretty funny that FanTaSy goes for the CC first on the last map. You know, big 4-player map, but on this one, even though it is a 2-player map, you do have that backstory expansion, and getting up a CC first is not that hard.
Yeah.
I guess just deciding to play a little bit safer with that Reaper this time.
You know, the Reaper also can give you big bonus points if your opponent went for a Nexus first, which does happen every now and then on this map. So I guess that's something to consider as well. There's the CC, and I think we're going to see a factory popping up in a moment. Oh, reactor, though. Huh. I mean, you could still add a factory, but I was expecting the factory a little bit faster.
There, that Nexus goes down. It looks like FanTaSy not really bothering to block there with his SCV. Wants to get that out in time. Maybe just come in here with the Reaper, get that extra scouting.
Yeah. Reaper heading over. Just going to check the gold base.
Take the gold base. You're not playing a Zerg, FanTaSy.
Okay.
I know you've had some recent success against Zerg, but
he's going to send the Reaper home to make sure the Zerglings can't harass his building CC.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Where is he going with this?
He's checking
I guess
for
he's
proxies.
just checking for proxies, yeah.
Which is fair. There is a Stargate on the way. And the factory now halfway done. Just wants to be able to know that if he's going to do a Widowmine, Marine drop, follow-up, or even Hellions, if that's what he wants to do, he's not going to have to worry about Oracles flying into his base and giving him hell at the same time.
Decides to forego even going in the main base before checking proxies. Interesting. Usually you see like the Reaper go in, and if he notices something wrong, he'll go ahead and check the map, you know, but looks like FanTaSy, he's pretty comfortable against any play that the Protoss can do in his main base. He just doesn't want to get proxied out. So finally the Reaper goes in the main base, but he's going to be kicked out by that stock on the Mothership court.
Yeah, kicked out. Oracle on the way. Widowmine is going to be the tech of choice here at FanTaSy. Let's see if he uses it defensively. Based off of his play last game, I think he will keep that first Widowmine at home before he ends up sending just a medevac out. Obviously, the timing for this, how this works out, is going to also depend on this. Like, if the Oracle gets to his base before he's even ready to leave, then it's just going to be there anyways. And setting up just in case of a proxy right on that sat dish.
Oh, yeah. I love this, man.
Just
already
like
the
last
Oracle
game.
going straight towards that natural. And, yeah, I always just love this defensive Widowmine play. You don't really have to do the damage with drops, especially against Protoss. It's like, well, if you can get an Oracle kill in one fell swoop while it gets no kills, and here it goes, it's going to fly right over the Widowmine and go down instantly, not a single kill.
Yeah. And he just made that SCV fear for his life.
He got zapped for a minute, but he's okay now.
But at this point, now Zest at least knows that Widowmines are on the playing field. They're on the table. They're
out on the soccer field here of Starcraft.
Yeah, we've established there are Widowmines in the building. It's kind of the elephant in the room, if you will.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. I mean, Zest, he's trying to play his pro game, but he gets knocked out there. Oracle gets 0 kills, but it's okay. It's all right.
So he knows what's up. He's got his units in position. His observer's not ready yet. So that's kind of important. I think this Widowmine will get one shot off, especially if he drops 2 here. And 2 kills. Observer on the way. So solid defense here. And that's what that Oracle really bought him, essentially. I mean, it's just this safe defense.
Zest is really good at dealing with these Widowmine drops. This is definitely not Creator we're seeing in the booth.
Thankfully.
The Creator, he just like, he doesn't even acknowledge the fact that Widowmines are on the map. He's like, oh, you've got Widowmines. I'm just going to ignore that. Like, let me just keep my probes on the mineral line. I do not care. And Zest the exact opposite of that.
Now, I mean, at this point in time, like, we're going to see FanTaSy with a super fast third base. I mean, this is unheard of fast. I don't think I've seen a Terran player at this third base this quick, like, in a while. Like, Mar will do it every now and then. MMA does this a lot in this matchup. He loves taking fast third bases like this. But this is going to actually allow him to try to play a solid mid-game, mid-to late game with a big Terran army that explodes. And this is something that Zest needs to identify very quickly because he's playing a greedy game, but if he doesn't attack or set up any sort of pressure, his third base is going to go up for free. He's already starting to get some mule value here on that base.
Yeah. FanTaSy, I guess, just playing the map. He's got so much room. And Zest finally does scout that. Another Widowmine drop coming into the main. Both on overcharge going to go down.
Yeah, you might want to save those Widowmines, actually.
Yeah, both going to go down. No damage, besides that probe pull, of course.
Yeah, I feel like he could have saved one of those, but I guess maybe the medevac's a bit weak. I actually don't know exactly the hit points on that. I'm not even going to check for my observing PC because it's no longer relevant. It's no longer relevant. See, this army that's moving across here now is Marauderless because he spent all that money on the CC. So this army is actually not very scary, but it is going to be a nice distracting force. I love that Zest adds his cannon in his backdoor base because he knows these types of drops are actually going to be quite effective.
Yeah, cannon's becoming more and more common these days. Sometimes you even see Protoss going for like 3 or 4 cannons in specific cases, just having a really tough time dealing with drops like this,
Yeah.
Delaying so much mining time here.
The Marine force on the left side is actually hidden. It's almost like he wants to wait for a probe transfer over there. More mining time lost here at the same time. Okay, so this scout just lets FanTaSy know, okay, fighting at that third base is not reasonable. There's too many reinforcements. He's got a Colossus here. The Widowmine drop didn't give him enough wiggle room to actually get in there and do significant damage. He didn't have Stim either. Without Stim coming over there and trying to bursting that Nexus down with pure Marine, no Marauder support, is just not going to work.
Yeah, Observer pointing that out as well. Hallucination Scout coming out here. Gonna, I guess, scout exactly what FanTaSy is transitioning to.
FanTaSy is going to have this huge explosion of army, as I was talking about before, because he had this third base up totally uncontested. Whereas Zest is at home making cannons, he's defending. He's got his own third base coming up, and he does have his upgrades coming up as well. But in this game, we're even 1 armor to 1 attack in this game. So, like, he doesn't have the upgrade advantage he had last game, so he needs to be careful because FanTaSy is going to start doing these fancy terrorist drops if you will. And this is like the exact same thing we saw last game. He's, medevacs boosting for reinforcements, for split drops, so he can drop one location, drop the other at the same time. Good observer coverage here, though, for Zest.
I want to point something out, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. This time on this map, FanTaSy decides to forego the Raven. And I feel like on this map, like, this is the map you want to build a Raven, right? I mean, there's so many observers, especially towards that back face. He needs the vision of that, unless he wants to keep units there and even, like, put a couple cannons down. But decides not to make it.
No.
Pretty interesting. Blink is done, so FanTaSy with these drops, he has to be extremely careful.
This is actually such a good point that you can make without the Raven. This is so obvious every move here. Like he keeps scanning, he keeps moving towards the edge, and he's like, oh god, you're just in position every time. It's because he's got an observer watching. That's why he's scanning, trying to get rid of it, and he even misses it here. And this army is ready. He's just going to go for it. Hail Mary! This is a ton of medevacs here.
He's actually just dropping right on this army. This army of Zest really not together here. He's going to take down a Colossus right away.
Yeah, Nexus Cannon is trying to buy some time. At the same time, his army does kind of get split here.
Oh my god, look at that Nexus. He's just focusing it down.
Yep, and don't forget, during all of this, another group of medevacs is coming down from the main base, and he's going to go attack that third.
Wow. Knocking Zest down to 2 bases. A really, really nice drop there.
Ooh, that Widowmine gets away, too. He's got a Widowmine in there. There's 2 Widowmines in there.
Oh my god.
This could be so...
3, 2, 1. These probes. Oh!
Okay, wait. Oh, no, he's not going to get it.
They just barely got out of dodge.
Kills the Stalker.
Yeah, not bad.
Well, that third base is about to be under attack. This is something that Zest predicts accurately, also then scouted with his observer to the left side.
I just said get out of dodge, Wolf. I've been casting so much with Moonglade.
That's all right.
It's all right. I can meet Australian for a sec. It's okay.
I wonder if that comes from the fact that all Australians drive Dodge cars, Dodge Caravans.
Yeah, it definitely has something to do with that.
Now, big drop coming over to the right side, and again, there are units here. Are there enough? That's the question. I think this time there is enough of a defense to defend. Well, actually, maybe I'm wrong here. FanTaSy's just got too many Marauders in this army. He's forcing that Colossus back.
FanTaSy always gets so close to taking out a Colossus and fails.
He's also
you notice that? He did that in the last game and this time.
Yeah, he's not pressuring the third base at the same time. This army's too small. But yeah, you're right. He's always like getting so close. I feel like that's more Zest's good micro than FanTaSy's mistake. But definitely Maru would have gotten him.
Maru's the Colossus killer, Colossus hunter. We're going to see FanTaSy now. You mentioned many times that third base, he's had such a great economy for so long, and he's got a huge army. And this time, as you mentioned as well, upgrades very even. FanTaSy can put on some huge pressure. Look at this army. It's gigantic.
40 army supply above, even upgrades. Actually, I take it back. 1 armor up for right now for Zest. But that's... actually, it might be 2 armor up in a second with all that Chrono Boost has been spent on that Forge. But anyways, he's not massively ahead in upgrades, which is what allowed him to fight off large Terran armies in the previous game.
Big chunk of FanTaSy's army, once again, not with this. He's going to try to drop in these Colossi. Once again, Zest's army kind of not together. Oh, he's going for the army on the right side. There's not a lot of support for those Colossi. He focuses down the Nexus at the same time.
So much damage being done here. Some of these Zealots taking damage as they warp in. They're all going to die here. They're trying to buy time. Set a good surround on this army over here, but it's just being too much of a good trade. And he's just outmaneuvering this small Zest army, targeting down Tech now.
Yeah, takes out that upgrade even. Going to take out the Twilight Council. Charge is not going to come through. Zest has so many Zealots that need charge, or at least he did. Now he's only got 6.
Yep, and look at this army moving across the map, actually going to be able to continue to reinforce and take out these Zealots and the third base. FanTaSy's got this game won. It's over. It's done.
I am really, really impressed with FanTaSy's play these days. Just as GSL Performance can tell it to you guys if you missed that. You're not with the times. GG. FanTaSy ties it up 1-1.
FanTaSy is terrifying me right now.
He's a terrorist, Terran.
He's a terrorist,
Of course he's terrifying.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, he's no joke. FanTaSy can go head-to-head with pretty much anyone right now.
This is pretty scary for Zest right now. I mean, he just got totally manhandled.
Yeah.
This is why we sometimes see Bonnie get banned, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was going to say at the same time, like, this is a great map for FanTaSy. This is exactly what he wants to do, just his play style. Like, he's all about picking these Paradoxes apart, not letting them bunch up that big death ball, and that's pretty much stellar play. You know, if you're Terran, you want to go up against Paradox.